want to say something that is so contradictory to the spirit of the music we're hearing right now, but so when Pat started playing, I gotta be honest, he kind of reminded me of the bass player that came and played with Sarah Suxer, who, if you've been around long enough, I mentioned in one of my first spontaneous poems. She is a poet whose voice is like an angel and whose eyes are, well, I don't know because it was a YouTube video and I couldn't see clearly, but I'm convinced that there is something special in those eyes of Sarah, the poet of the, I think it's Paper Airplane Press. Anyhow, guess who? I'm back and I'm making a sound, making a statement, and I just want to bring my blocks. I just want to explain my case. I'm going to put these in front of you. They have letters on the front, and I guess if you arrange them just right, they spell words. But I don't know what those words are going to be, but I just need to vent, okay? So it's been a long winter, and from what I'm told, winters are supposed to last a season only, and seasons only seem to really be a few months, really. But when it comes down to it, some of us live in peculiar seasons. But last December, there was some sort of fork, although I didn't see it. There was some sort of road that I suppose I walked down and never looked back from, but how can one look back if one never knew the decision one made? So I find myself in December and pondering on December and this peculiar season, this peculiar year-long season. I don't know if anybody else knows of a winter like that, but some people's winters go from December to December, and some people's winters go from 2000 to 2008. Some people's winters go longer than they should go. And so, as people, we find ourselves trying to comfort one another. But hold on though. I mean, I have these blocks and I've done everything I could. I brought them to people. I said, look, there's letters on these blocks. Can you tell me what they spell? Don't you care what they spell? They spell a story of a year-long winter, which is just one of many, which is just something that's become ordinary, become average, become the status quo. And when the status quo is something awful and something that was peculiar and never meant to be, well, the status quo is hardly any way to live. But we travel through these years, through these seasons that last years. And when we get out, what do we say? Do those memories fade away? Maybe. Maybe if they were spring or summer, maybe those seasons and those memories just drop and drip like rain. And the next morning, it may be a little wet. You may see something that reminds you of it, but it's gone. But the winters, maybe even the falls, those are the seasons that rain inside your head and create perspiration and create condensation and any other sort of water. And you know, when you're surrounded by water and when it rains inside your head, sometimes you do drown and sometimes people do let go. But today in December, when it gets colder and when things are on their way to the death cycle, I look up and today is the first day of my spring. And today things start to grow. And although the signs around me say otherwise, I live in a certain different sort of realm. And somehow, although nobody stopped to read my blocks and make sense of my words, I still have my story, and my story is still intact. And there's a book that hasn't been read by anyone but one. And when I came to the realization that one person read my book, that one person took my letters and transcribed the entire story and wept over it more than I did, well, this peculiar season, I suppose it was all worth it. And I suppose that I'm growing now, and I suppose that dysfunction is something on the way to super function. And now I work, and now I'm not broken anymore. And there are certain people, and some people I love. Maybe I shouldn't have, maybe I shouldn't, who will never see. And I could cry and I could complain and recall the events of my winter. But honestly, when spring comes, flowers make you forget. Flowers make you forget. And thank God for the sunshine. And that flowers make you forget.
Oh!